I feel really good. The city's great. The weather's great. The people here have been very friendly, very nice to me and my wife, and so far I've had a really good time. Honestly, I just think we have a good group of guys. It just comes down to having good people around, and you got some great personalities in the locker room. You got Augusta Lima, who just brings everyone together, has a great attitude towards everything, and just a quality group of guys who have the same goal, want the same thing, and we know how to have fun while we do it. I think that helps. I think one thing that makes a great team is being able to have American guys, Spanish guys from everywhere who come together. Instead of having American guys with American guys, Spanish guys with Spanish guys, and there are a lot of Americans, which maybe helps a little bit feel a little bit more home. But I think everyone gets along together, whether they're from America, Spain, or wherever. So. I knew a lot about the team. I knew it was a great team with a great tradition. I knew they always had good teams, always had big goals, big aspirations. I've played against them when I was in Italy, so I had an idea about the team a little bit. Last year when I came here, when I was with Brogan, I was able to see a little bit of the city, but I didn't know much. I just knew it was on the coast. Great weather, but I've been very surprised with the city and how nice it is, and just the overall community that's been here, and the people here have been great. I think it's a little bit of a gift and a lot of a lot of hard work that I've been putting in the hours, and when I was maybe 3-4 years old, my dad had already had me shooting a little basketball on a little plastic hoop. So I've been shooting a basketball, for almost 30 years now. So it's been a lot of hard work. I think there's definitely a little bit of a gift in there, but yeah. One of my favorite players growing up has been LeBron James. Since he came into the league, my aunt worked for the Cleveland Cavaliers when he came to the league, and so instantly I kind of gravitated towards him. But watching him play, I've kind of learned to love his game and how he does everything very good. It's not just a shooter. He's not just a slasher. He's a very good passer. He does kind of everything, and that's kind of what I've tried to do in my career. I like to say I'm a shooter, but a lot of things people don't know is I try to do rebounds. I've worked on my passing. I think I can, take care of the ball, and so I try to kind of be good at everything at the same time, and I've kind of learned that from him. Well, I was born in Ohio, in Cincinnati, but I moved to Kansas when I was 3 years old. So I grew up in Kansas, in Overland Park, Kansas. Great place to live, great place to raise a family. There's been a lot of good basketball players coming out of there. I had a great childhood, had a great time growing up there. And but yeah, I would say more my hometown is Overland Park, Kansas, because I grew up there. But I have a lot of relatives and family members that are from Ohio. It's awesome. I think he brought so much attention to the school, and that's such a great thing, because I think Davidson is such a great place, a great college, and it's such a small college that if it wasn't for Steph, I don't think a lot of people in the country would know about it. And so it's been a really cool thing to be able to say that I went to the same college as him, because he is the best shooter in the world. He is an amazing basketball player, and also he's a great person. He's a great human being. So just to be associated with someone like that, it's a very cool thing. Yes, I have. When I was just starting my first year at college was the NBA lockout, and he came back to college to do a couple classes because he wanted to graduate, which I think he did this past year finally. And when he was back on campus, he played pickup with us a few times. So I was actually, as an 18-year-old kid, was guarding Steph Curry in just some pickup friendly games. So that was pretty cool. You know, I can't think of anything specific that he may have told me, or you know, I didn't get a chance too much to dissect his game or what kind of things he does. But I think a lot of things that he does and what he's learned kind of came from Coach Bob McKillop at Davidson College. And so I would say indirectly I've learned a lot from Coach Bob McKillop of things that Steph does in his game just by going to the school. Honestly, I think the best memories I have are just probably the players, the teammates, the people within the club, that the relationships I've made. When I look back on the places I've been, you know, those are the things that really stick out to me and that I really remember. You know, some of those, since I've only played 1 year in certain places, those have only been 1 year relationships. But I try to keep in touch with some of those guys. You know, I've played in some really cool locations too. And so being able to explore the different parts of the different countries, and those kind of stick with me as well. Same thing. First off, the teammates and the locker room and those guys. We had a great group of guys, great chemistry. You know, and then secondly, probably the fans, the atmosphere that they brought to the gym at every home game was one of the best I've had in Europe. Just kind of that community within the fans and the players, and kind of the small town of Lugo that really sticks with me. He's a really good coach. He one thing with him that I think helped was he really pushed his players and really, you know, got us very tough and tough-minded for games and ready to play against opponents. You know, he helped me kind of learn a few things coming off the ball and doing stuff like that. So yeah, I think he's a really good coach. I think he gets the best out of his players, and he really pushes his players to their full capacity. Someone who's you know, active, likes to go do things, likes to be around friends, family. I would say I'm a pretty positive guy, but yeah, I like to explore. I like to go, you know, see the different things that each place I live in has, and yeah, that's what I would say. Nah, I mean, I like to, like I said, I like to be active. I like to play games. I like to play board games, cards. I like to play, you know, some video games. I'm kind of, my family growing up, we used to always play a lot of cards, board games when we have family time together. So I would not say I'm a good cook, no. And I do not have a good voice. No, I would say my main skill is probably shooting a basketball. I like a little bit of everything. You know, I love The Office. I like a little bit of sci-fi. I like Game of Thrones. I love Game of Thrones. I really like kind of thrillers or mystery kind of movies. Yeah, I mean, the Office is one of my all-time favorites. I can just kind of have that running on in the background and just watch it anytime. Like I said, I was very impressed with the city. You know, being so close to the coast and having the weather that's here is just unbelievable. I've never had that, just on vacation a little bit. So being able to have that, you know, being able to be there, plus having some mountains close by, and having the city center and kind of how amazingly beautiful that is, and the different things. I've loved it so far, and it's you know, there's still a lot that I haven't done, and I'm you know, I really want to do so. They've been awesome. The fans have been great. They've supported us for wins and losses. You know, on social media, I've gotten nothing but, you know, love from them, and you know, wishing me Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and really making me feel at home in a place that isn't my home. So it's been really great to win. That means win as many games. I think we have a good enough team to win the Champions League, and I think we have a good enough team to make a run at the Copa del Rey and also and the ACB playoffs. I think we have unbelievable talent. We have an unbelievable group of guys, and I think our chemistry just adds to all of that. So, my sights are on the best at what we can do, and I think we have the team to do it. Spain in general. Malaga, probably because I've never had this, is probably the weather. I don't think I've had weather like this, the sun almost every single day. Spain might be the food, I think. The seafood, when I was in Lugo, the poco, I absolutely loved it. So I think probably Spain, I'd have to say the food.